Surfing Life with Malcolm. There's always more. So listen, I'm going to start a series to help out people. You can participate or not. Where'd this come from? I took a really hard, long look at my life. You know, it's always up and then it's down. Then it's up and then it's down. You know, and this is a long self-reflection. So let me tell you how this all came about right at the start, and then we'll get into it. And each day I'll add a little bit more. I've done the whole thing, but with it, you know, I'm only going to do it in short bits so you can think about it and apply it. But I'm really, you know, when I was winning in my life, this principle, what I'm going to share with you, was in effect. And it's really simple. And then when I was losing, this principle was in effect. How can that be? You see, you know, when I was young, things were great. It was going just great. I was a popular kid, loved my sports, lived by a beach. Yeah, my mother and father were very strict. My mother was brutal, man. It was unbelievable. But life was good for me. We never were hungry. Yeah, we had hand-me-down clothes and stuff like that. But life was great. Then as a later teenager, life got even better. I mean, it really got better. I excelled in my sport. But all of a sudden, I started to go backwards, right around when I was 18. Things started to go down. Life became a struggle. I wasn't unhappy, but nothing fell into place like it used to. And then when I got in, you know, some really horrible things happened with you know, well, anyway, just horrible things happened. And then I all of a sudden turned the corner. I started excelling again. Business was booming. I was having a wonderful time. Things were really something. Looking up, you know, going ready to move to another country across from Australia. And then life, once I was over there, it kept on going. Why? Because what I'm going to teach you here, or what I'm going to share, I'm not going to teach, I'm just going to share. You know, I didn't create this at all. It's just a realization, and anyone that understands life or looks back on their life, they'll see this evident in everything that happens with them. And what happened? Life got better again. It just kept getting better. I was having a wonderful time in Canada. But then it started to fall apart. And I went down. I went down, 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 down. And finished the career where I was at. And things were going wrong. I started to reflect and started to see. You know, when things were going good, nothing could go wrong. I was thinking good. I was happy. I was positive. Love was all about and coming into me. But then I started to think about complaining, you know. Things that were wrong. Things that, you know, and my negative thinking started to creep in. And I could start to see a pattern. I didn't realize it back then, but this is the pattern I saw. And sure enough, I went down. I mean, I went really down, really hard. The wrong way. But I don't know why I snapped out of it, but then I just started thinking. And my thinking, my process changed. As Zig Ziglar says, my stinking thinking stopped. And all of a sudden, in my 30s, early 30s, it started to take off again. It really started to take off. Created a financial services business. Things started really looking up. I was booming along again. And away it went, and things were good. But it was short-lived for a few years because I started to think about and complain about what was wrong with the world and what was wrong with the finance and what was wrong with the big picture. And slowly, it wasn't like just overnight. Just slowly it chips away, and that incoming great, wonderful surf and wonderful time and tide starts to go the wrong way. And things started to go back the other way. And then all of it changed again. The tide turned and my life started to get better again. And away I went, and it was really good, and it kept on going. I mean, it really kept on going. It went to where I went to making over $680,000 a year, and then I went up to $2-3 million a year. Life was blistering along. I should have just stayed there. But you know what happened over about a 3-year period of that going fantastic? I let that stinking thinking start to come back in. Started thinking about complaining and traveling all around the world and all the people, and instead of feeling wonderful about helping them, I started to feel like it was a burden. I didn't realize over time it started to go away again. And it went away, like all the way down to where I was in serious trouble again. I mean, serious trouble. And then it came back. You see the pattern here? Up and down, up and down. Think about yourself. Think about your life. Think about what's been going on. Just look at that picture. Step back and play a movie of your life, and you'll see you go up. You see you go down. You see you go up. You see you go down. It's all because of us. Everything we do is based on our own personal decisions that we make. And those decisions can begin in our mind. And that's what this whole series is about. It begins with us, and it's inside us. It's in the ability of our mind. Well, then it took off and it started to go great again. It went great. You remember that? You remember that time? It was 6 years. We're getting closer to this time, right? And away it went again. Goodness gracious, 6 million, 6.8 million in 5 years, and life was great, and friends were everywhere, and back traveling around the world. Things were wonderful. I mean, absolutely wonderful. And what happened? You know, you can't blame a company. You can't blame anything. My thinking started to go the wrong way. After 6 years, I should have learned the lesson by now, huh? And down it went. I mean, really bad. To where I had nothing, from everything to where I just had a push bike. Serious. That was only a handful of years ago, 2012. 2012, end of 2011, 2012. No home to live in, owned a push bike. Scraping together enough money to eat again. That was it, every day. Met someone, fell in love, and then I started to turn the corner. Not because I fell in love, I woke up. I realized, and this is when it really hit me. So from that point on, from 2012-13, I started turning that corner, and I've kept going up. And it's just kept on going and going and going and going. And it's going to keep on going. Now, there's a big challenge in the world now. And you could let that, listen to that wonderful family in there. It's morning here, 8 o'clock, Tuesday morning, beautiful. And look, there's trouble in the world today. And that's why I decided to release this and put it out for you. It's help. I love helping people. And I really believe that we can help each other if we adopt this simple principle. So there's always more. So think about this. Now, I'm going to talk about God. Yeah, I'm going to talk about Jesus. But you remember, I was raised atheist. That doesn't mean, that you got to believe in God or you got to believe in Jesus. Think about this principle. It happens no matter what. So follow along. But I do quote Jesus in this, just to kind of give evidence of what's said. Now, if you just start, I'm not asking you to become a Christian if you're not. I'm not asking you to believe. I'm just asking you to follow a principle. Hi, sweetie pie. How are you? Making a clip to help people out. And here's my other one. You're a shark. Hi, sweetie pie. How are you? Okay, so here we go. We're going to get started. It's really self-evident truth. I've written this out for you so you can follow along, because if you read it, it'll imprint it in your mind. It's a self-evident truth that if man is made in the spiritual image and likeness of God, then man's mind must be made of God's mind. If you just believe in the universe and that sort of thing, that energy, that's exactly the same thing to me as it really is. So if we are created through this universe, from the creation of this universe, whether you think it's the Big Bang or anything, we'll get that out of the way right up front. Whether you think that is, you cannot get something from nothing. That's the principle. So, if we come from the creation, and I say in the image of God and likeness of God, then man's mind must be made of God's mind. Also, man's got the same power in his individual life that God has in the universal. So let's think that through. If it's true that, as Jesus said, it's the Father within, he does the works, what happens then? Then the man's inner life is one with the Father. Now, this introduction I'm going through the series, I'm going to talk about like in the general, like man, and I say he, no offense to you gals, but I'm not going to go he, she, or she, he, or whatever. I'm just going to say he, as in you. But then as we move on the next day, I'll be talking about you. I'm just kind of giving you an opening, what you're going to be looking forward to. So since causation is, in physics, causation is having something happen. There has to be a cause, a decision, a thought, action, and that has an effect. We learned that in physics in school. Since causation is mental, it follows that all things are created by the mind of God. And man's mind is part of God's mind, right? Can't get something from nothing, so we come from creation. So man is able, by thinking, to set in motion power that creates. The universe has created everything, and we come from the universe. That means we are part of the universe. That means we have what the universe has. So we have what God has, so we can set in the power of creation ourselves. Of course, man doesn't create that power. That'd be corrupt, right? Man does not create that power, and neither does he coerce it. Here's the key. It's his to use, either rightly or wrongly. That's our choice. It never deserts him. It doesn't desert us. It's always there. It's a continuous energy. It's up to us to make that decision. It operates every moment of his life. It's non-stop operating in your life. That was that ebb and flow. We need therefore only to clear our minds of unbelief and know that it is done unto us as we believe. When I got it in red, I'm quoting from the Bible. So let's think this through. In this spirit, right, in this thinking that we're thinking of, and in what this spirit of creation and what all of that, we can think thoughts of success, and success will follow us as surely day follows night. For our thoughts will not return as an empty or a void. You're going to learn through this, our thoughts are the biggest controlling factor in our life. It's the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom. We need only to accept it. I'm not talking about if you're not a Christian, you got to become a Christian. Our Creator, as I believe, gave us everything. But if you think of the universe, it gives you everything. You only got to accept it. Even if we fail, we're proving the law works. Think that through. When we fail, we're proving what I'm saying works, according to our belief that it will not work. You see, we fail because we think, whether it's we realize or don't. You see, every time that flow of my life started to go down, I didn't realize how I was thinking. And I was proving it works. I had it, and I was the one that lost it. Then I'd have it again, and I was the one that created the situations to lose it. So it's proving it works. I've proved it over my lifetime. I'm tired of going up and going down, going up and going down. My realization is I and everyone that understands this can keep on going up. Even if we fail, think this through, we're proving that the law works. According to our belief that it will not work, that's why it fails. Of course, we don't wish to fail, come on. But if our mental attitude is one of doubt, then the result will be the outpicturing of our negative thoughts. What do I say outpicturing for? It's like, remember I said a movie, play the movie in your heads? Well, if we think our mental attitude's doubt, you're going to learn how we can go and prove to you how we can keep a great mental attitude. Then the outpicturing, the movie of our life we're going to make, is going to be of our negative thoughts. So we can change the effect only by changing the cause. What is the cause? The cause is our thoughts, right? Then that creates the events, the decisions, everything else. By reversing our thoughts and believing that the good we desire is already ours. Knowing this, we can no longer blame others for our troubles. We recognize that within ourselves is the power to produce success or failure. Now, don't get afraid, right? Fear brings failure, but faith brings success. So it's not going to happen overnight. It's a slow process. It's a continuing flow of energy, an ebb and flow. And we're going to create the right kind. It's just that simple. Fear brings failure. Faith brings success. Faith. Faith in yourself. Faith in winning. Faith in excelling. Faith in knowing that everything here is for us. No matter what's going on. You're going to find this, if you understand what I just said. Fear brings failure. Faith brings success. It's just that simple. You will find that this, if you keep that in mind, sorry, made a mistake here on my PowerPoint. If you keep that in mind, fear is failure, faith is success. This journey together in this little series I'm putting together, you're going to find this a really delightful spiritual adventure. So, there's always more. Stay tuned. We'll do it again. Next day I'll drop another one for you, and we'll work our way through this. I've put it together. I thought about this. I've been quiet for probably 3-4 weeks. I've been going through this over and over and over. And all I want to do is help you. I decided to help myself. I want my flow continually. Doesn't have to be good, then bad. And I really believe at this time, where we are now in the stream of time, it's so important to rearrange our thoughts, to not let what's going on in the world today, I'm not going to name it, to just not let what's going on in our world today to drag us down. There is no need for that. We can rise above all of this ourselves, and that will change the course. So, Surfing Life with Malcolm, there's always more. See you on the flip side.